You know, for all of our artificial intelligence and the mega computers and quality control, our spacecraft aren't what they used to be. In part, I think, because there's too much technology, too many people working on computers by themselves, and too much delegation to the computers. If you look at how America designed the rockets in the 60s and 70s, well, take a look. It was a bunch of guys in a room, chalkboard, slide rules, a lot more interaction. I don't know. They were able to do it in 1969, no tipping over. And now I think it says something. I think that we are going backwards. In science, I know definitely politically.
And sometimes you've heard the word full moon. And sometimes you need to take the opportunity just to come out and see a full moon is that complete rounded circle, which is made up mostly of gases. And that's why the question is why or how could we as humans live on the moon? Are the gases such that we could do that? The sun is a mighty powerful heat that is almost impossible to go near the sun.
I think she was talking to Georgia Tech as well, which made the comments totally weird. All right, and that's pretty crazy stuff, right? Look, we are declining in so many ways, and in the biggest, most important things, we have taken our eye off the ball because of this crazy moment, and there are giants out there, and regular people recognize it. One of my favorites is Peter Thiel. At one point, he was on Donald Trump's side. Peter Thiel, he was a big investor in Facebook. I think he invented PayPal and a couple of other things. He was one of the few Silicon Valley guys who came out for Trump.
When I was a kid, the great debate was about how to defeat the Soviet Union, and we won. Now we are told that the great debate is about who gets to use which bathroom. This is a distraction from our real problems. Who cares?
Great question. Unfortunately, the answer is the Democratic Party. Not only do they care, they are obsessed with issues of gender and having those crazy drag queens come into the school and hang around kids. This is somehow a civil right. Peter Thiel, wow, make America great again. Can I say what it meant to me when I first heard it? It meant doing big things as a country and not losing wars, maybe going back to the moon, stuff like that, and not getting beaten by all of our competitors. Sound good? Sounds great. You know what it had nothing to do with for me, and I think all of Maga? Race. And this is such a smear. They say that Make America Great Again is some sort of sinister campaign to take us back to the 19th century, that white folk, I don't know, white folk want to be like it was in the South before the Civil War. It's absurd, but that's what they say.
Very large numbers of white people and of men being uncomfortable with social progress, uncomfortable with the changed status for themselves in an egalitarian America.
This idea of Make America Great Again was really to turn back the clock, so to make America white again.
He basically said, I want to make America white again.
No, I just don't want the rockets to fall down. I don't want them to topple over, okay? I want excellence. You never hear the word excellence anymore. Our founding fathers were all about excellence. They were, and each of them, they were excellent in their own way. They brought a significant talent to Philadelphia when they put that amazing Constitution together. What would they have made of career politician Joe Biden? Not a man of excellence, not a man of skill, not a man of anything.
Next question. Who do I call on next? Hang on a second. I got my list here. Hang on. I apologize. Aurelia of AFP.
What if I, raise your hand? I don't know. Mr. President, over here. It's all prearranged. The questions are known ahead of time. And this is today at the White House. Nobody has asked Joe Biden about the laptop since 2020. Now, isn't that incredible? He's around reporters every day. They don't even yell a question at him. Why don't you admit it was your laptop, your son's laptop? You said the CIA something. Anyway, it was pathetic overall. I'm convinced he can't be the nominee, as he was escorted around the Rose Garden by some general. And you see that? What's that all about? I've never seen that maneuver. This way, this way. It's like, and Prime Minister Kishida of Japan he was a good sport. He was a good sport. All right, a couple of other things. Samantha Power, most famous for calling Hillary Clinton a monster once. Yes, she did. She heads the U.S. Agency for International Development. Did you hear about this? They gave the American government $1 million to Gaza charities tied to Hamas 6 days before October 7th. What is that all about? What is USAID throwing money around like that to the bad guys? These people hate us totally. They were celebrating on 9/11. Absolutely they were. In Gaza, the West Bank, and we're throwing cash, and that cash has been used to kill not only our brothers and sisters in Israel, but Americans. And Joe Biden wants to go easy yet again.
What I'm calling for is for the Israelis to just call for a ceasefire, allow for the next 6-8 weeks total access to all food and medicine going into the country.
Is that what it says on his notepad there? This big thing. If you're going to have a cheat sheet, I think it should be smaller, don't you? He's got this big, stupid thing in his hand all the time. 6 to 8 weeks of a ceasefire. Well, that's going to allow the enemy to regroup and resupply. And we can't have that. Israel can't have that. How about you apply pressure on Hamas to surrender? They could surrender. They could put up the white flag and hand over the hostages. What do you say? Women and children, the elderly, you never hear about them. Somehow this is acceptable in civilized society. It is not. It is. Look at these people. Absolute savages what Hamas did. They deserve no sympathy. They deserve no time off. We're not going to give them 2 months to resupply and rearm and get ready. Let the women and children go now, immediately. It is the human thing to do. Next.
So can I have 30 milkshakes and also some chicken? And we're going to take care of the customers. This is good. Making a lot of money. Everyone get rich, right? Thanks. Thank you very much. Look at the way you hold. You like each other, right? I think that's very nice. Have a good time. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. So we'll order 30 milkshakes. We'll give them out to the people, and we'll take some for ourselves.
I love it. He is so good at this stuff. This is in Atlanta at a Chick-fil-A, and the staff loves him. He's in the spirit. He's at the top of his game. It is wild that he's facing all these criminal indictments all over the place. A trial may start on Monday, and normal people don't care, because we get that this is a sham. I mean, the star witness next week, if they actually have the trial, something tells me it's not going to happen. But Michael Cohen is going to be the star witness, this guy. What kind of lawyer makes a recording of his own client to get his client in trouble? I think Michael Cohen may have been covering up for his own situation with Stormy Daniels. But he did that. He recorded his own client. And if you listen to the recording, it doesn't say much of anything, yet it's there.
And I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with
So what are we going to do?
Funding. Yes. And it's all the stuff, because you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be.
Gets it by
Correct. So I'm all over that. And I spoke to Alan about it when it comes time for the financing, which will be.
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So
I'll pay the cash.
No. I got no.
I mean, I just, there's no illegality. There's nothing. It's kind of routine. But attorney-client privilege, I thought that was supposed to be sacrosanct, right? Sacrosanct. Protects confidential communications between lawyer and client that relate to the client's seeking of legal advice or services. They have violated Trump's attorney-client privilege with multiple attorneys. Another guy who was involved in the documents case, Evan Cochran, I believe his name is. They sat him down and they made him say all kinds of stuff about his conversations with Donald Trump. They asked him about it. This is un-American. Accused murderers get attorney-client privilege. You know that guy in Idaho who may have killed all those people in the house? He has a lawyer. No one's has subpoenaed that lawyer and asked her, did he say he did it? I mean, it's a beautiful thing that we have. It's necessary. It's a basic of our system. And poor Alan Weisselberg, you know this guy? He was on The Apprentice. The man there to the left, Donald Trump's chief financial officer for decades. They're putting him in jail for 5 months. 5 months. Pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts of perjury. With all that's going on, they're going to put this guy in jail, who I believe is in his late 60s or early 70s. Totally unfair. And the prosecutors were out to get this guy. They set a trap. Michael Pomerantz is one of the people who did it. He's a former federal prosecutor who volunteered to help Alvin Bragg come up with a case against Trump. Volunteered? He did. I don't think these can be passion projects. That is literally unprofessional. And in his own book, I think he said a little bit too much. This is how thugs like him operate.
Kerry and I also discussed calling Weisselberg's lawyer to fire a warning shot over his bow. We could say that we might be coming after Weisselberg without specifying what we had on him, which was very little at that point, in the hope that he would get scared and fall into our laps as a witness.
See what I mean by thug? This is, I mean, they should indict him for these kinds of tactics. Who remembers Michael Avenatti? Stormy Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti, he's back. He's still in jail. Remember what a hero the left loved this guy.
Lately, to me, you're like the Holy Spirit. You are all places at all times.
Looking ahead to 2020, one reason why I'm taking you seriously as a contender is because of your presence on cable news.
He's not only the attorney who represents Stormy Daniels, he's Donald Trump's worst nightmare. Michael Avenatti. You are something of a folk hero now.
Michael Avenatti is a beast to my mind, and I think now
he gives Trump a run for his money more than anybody else, Michael Avenatti.
No one has talked tougher directly to Donald Trump on TV than Michael Avenatti.
All right, a big guy when it came to talking on TV. Well, he's still talking on TV from his prison cell. He called into MSNBC, and guess what he said? The case against Trump in Manhattan is a bad case and shouldn't be happening. Take a look.
I think what I'm about to say is going to surprise a lot of people, and that is that, I think this is the wrong case at the wrong time, Ari. I think that the case is in many ways stale at this juncture. You're talking about conduct that occurred some 8 years ago. I think the fact that it's occurring in state court in New York is a mistake. And I think that when you are going to potentially deprive tens of millions of Americans of their choice for the presidency of the United States, whether we agree with those folks or not, or regardless of what we may think of Donald Trump, I think it's a mistake to do it based on a case of this nature.
How about that, huh? He's had time to think things over in jail. Now, his former client, Stormy Daniels, this case stems from Stormy. One thing that was so, you could see it from space, it was so untrue when she said this.
I felt intimidated and honestly bullied, and I didn't know what to do, and so I signed it. Even though I had repeatedly expressed that I wouldn't break the agreement, but I was not comfortable lying.
How do we know you're telling the truth?
Because I have no reason to lie.
Oh, yes, she does. A million reasons. I'll have some of them when we come back.